Hey, what up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you. Lots of rolling out news coming from the WWE investors call today. And basically, with the success of the WWE Network having its WWE Live in Tokyo, of course, the Beast in the East special that ran 4th of July, early morning, with Brock Lesnar taking on Kofi Kingston, Finn Balor winning the NXT Championship from Kevin Owens, and of course, that dreadful John Cena and Dolph Ziggler tag match. WWE is looking at doing more live specials and trying to find a way to capture the magic that was WWE in Tokyo. Honestly, in my mind, one of the biggest draws for the WWE Network was that this event was being held in Tokyo. This was an event that was never supposed to be seen in the eyes of people in America, unless you traveled over there, or maybe some bootleg, YouTube video got uploaded somewhere along the way, and you were able to just check this out before WWE found the footage and took it down. I think that was the big appeal about this. I remember, Twitter, as the hours drew near to the show, everybody talking about running out and picking up, things from Walmart, getting a bag of chips, a thing of Oreos, a bag of jelly beans. Honestly, I didn't think the appeal was going to be there for the Beast in the East show. I thought people would wait and watch it the next day on the on-demand section. Of course, that's one of the biggest pluses that go along with the WWE Network is the on-demand feature. But people wanted to watch it live, just like me, to be able to tweet about it live on Twitter and experience what was going down. The people who went to sleep after the NXT Championship match when Finn Balor won the NXT title from Kevin Owens, those people won the night. I ended up staying up and watching the 30-minute tag match of Dolph Ziggler and John Cena against Wade Barrett and Kane. What a horrible decision that was made by me, especially with having to go to work the next morning to work a holiday, which is just outrageous at the grocery store that I work at. But honestly, what WWE is thinking about doing is hosting an event live on the beach, by setting up a ring and letting people get there and come to the show. Honestly, I think this would not be the best idea for WWE. Honestly, when you think about the biggest mistakes that WCW was hosting Hog Wild, Road Wild up in Sturgis. They thought of it as being a great promotion for the company, with all these bikers being there, being able to put on a show in the middle of a biker rally. Lots of people have taken shots at Eric Bischoff and other brass that were in WCW, saying that this was only a show put together so the guys would have an excuse to ride their Harleys and get paid for it. I don't think that WCW made a dime off of that. Sturgis wouldn't let them charge for tickets. So basically, they had to, get all the wrestlers to the show. They had to put their ring up. They had to, pay the camera people to, film the show, and they made nothing off of it except for having a ruckus crowd at the arena. It wasn't even an arena. It was held in the middle of a field. I apologize. But as you can remember from watching those shows, the bikers were there. They were watching the show, but it seemed like they were barely paying attention to it, and almost to a point they were trying to, ruin the show by just revving up their engines just during the show. It drew nothing to what they were doing. I'm sure if WCW would have held a pay-per-view anywhere else in the United States under any other name, they would have been able to, draw a house and try and draw more money and probably have a better atmosphere for what was going down. Of course, what WWE Network is trying to do is trying to recapture WCW's Bass at the Beach, which of course, the first one was held in 1994, but the one they're trying to capture is 1995, which took place in Huntington Beach. This was a wrestling show that was to promote the Baywatch episode where Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, Ric Flair, Vader, and Kevin Sullivan would be doing a cameo. And for the most part, Bash at the Beach was drawn by Hulk Hogan versus Vader in a steel cage for the WCW Championship. Randy Savage ended up taking on Ric Flair in a lifeguard match, which takes too long to even describe what the rules of a lifeguard match was. But I can remember that the Hogan versus Vader match, they tried to say that Hulk Hogan drew 100,000 people to the beach that day. There were a lot of people on the beach. And I'm sure there was a lot of people on the beach that didn't know anything about wrestling, but they saw this live show and they stopped to watch it. But there's no way in the world there was 100,000 people watching that match that day. I can remember that Hogan and Vader never really worked well together. I remember when Hogan came to WCW, he rubbed Vader wrong by basically being in the locker room and openly saying that he wasn't going to job for anybody in the locker room. He came there to make himself a big star. Vader, who was a big star before coming to WCW, and honestly basically took a pay cut to not work in Japan. Who was already way over. If he would have got fired by WCW, could have gone to Japan and made huge paydays by going back there. Basically agreed to never job out to Hulk Hogan. The Hogan versus Vader matches, you can always see Ric Flair coming in. Hogan and Vader, they did a strap match where you have to drag your guy around, and it was honestly Hulk Hogan putting the fall on Ric Flair and still getting it. And there's lots of things like this, matches where it's Hogan versus Flair, but Hogan ends up pinning Arn Anderson, and he ends up getting the win. It's just the stupid things that were involved in WCW. I think that for the WWE Network, I think it'd be fun for the subscribers to have the show, to see the show, but honestly, I don't think it's going to ruin the company by them going down the roads of Hog Wild and Bash at the Beach. I don't see it as a plus for the company. They should be putting on shows inside arenas, drawing houses. If they want to set up cameras and put it on the WWE Network, do it. But I don't see them, creating any buzz by putting a show on the beach and trying to draw people in there. People like you and people like me are going to watch the WWE Network if they put on live wrestling. I think that's one of the pluses to the network being a success and getting more people to subscribe is the people that watch Raw, the people that watch SmackDown, being able to tell them for only $10 a month, they're going to get more live wrestling. And if they put on matches that people want to see, even if it's an undercard that nobody cares about, and one main event, we've seen this with pay-per-views in the last few months, people will watch the show, people will subscribe.